All right, welcome to Module 2. I want to start with a question. When was the last time you booked travel for yourself? Spring break? A weekend trip? Family vacation? Forget everything you know about booking personal travel. Business travel is a completely different game with completely different rules, and the mistakes you can make in the first 5 minutes of booking can follow you for years. Let me tell you about Rachel. Rachel was a marketing associate at a mid-sized consulting firm. She was bright, ambitious, and great at her job. Her manager asked her to book a trip to Portland for a client presentation, her first business trip. Rachel did what any normal person would do. She went to Expedia, found a nice hotel downtown, booked a flight with good times, and felt pretty good about saving the company money by finding good deals. 3 days later, Rachel got an email from her manager. "We need to talk about your travel booking." It turns out Rachel had broken 6 different company policies without even knowing it. The hotel wasn't on the approved vendor list. The airline wasn't their corporate partner. She didn't use the company discount codes. She booked a non-refundable rate. She didn't get pre-approval for the cost, and she used her personal credit card instead of requesting a company card. Rachel had to cancel everything and rebook through the corporate system, which cost the company an extra $800 in cancellation fees and price differences. But here's the kicker. Rachel's manager didn't just see this as a booking mistake. He saw it as someone who didn't follow instructions, didn't check policies, and cost the company money through carelessness. Rachel never took another business trip. Later, when a position opened up that required travel, her manager gave it to someone else. Now let me tell you about Marcus. Same company, similar situation, but Marcus asked one simple question before he started booking. Is there a corporate travel system I should use, or do you have any specific vendors I need to work with? His manager said, "Oh yeah, we use Concur for everything. Login information is in your employee portal." Marcus spent 20 minutes learning the Concur system, booked everything properly, and saved his company $300 through corporate rates. His manager was impressed enough to mention it during their team meeting. Same situation, one question, and a completely different outcome. Here's the first rule of business travel booking. Never assume anything. Always ask first. But asking the right questions means knowing what questions to ask. So let's walk through this step by step. Most mid to large companies use corporate travel portals like Concur, Trip Actions, or Agencia. These aren't just booking tools, they're policy enforcement systems. When you log into Concur, it already knows your level, your department's budget, your manager's approval requirements, and every single travel policy that applies to you. The system won't even show you options that violate company policy. This is actually your friend. When you book through the corporate system, it's almost impossible to accidentally violate the policy. The guardrails are built in. But here's what they don't tell you in training. These systems can be frustrating. Sometimes the cheapest flight has terrible times. Sometimes the approved hotels are sold out or in bad locations. And sometimes the system glitches won't let you book what you need. This is where new employees make career-damaging mistakes. They get frustrated with the corporate system, so they book outside it. Don't do this. Instead, here's your escalation path. First, try to make the corporate system work. Be flexible on times, locations, even dates if possible. If you absolutely can't make it work, don't just give up and go to Expedia. Take a screenshot of the problem, then call or email your manager and say that the travel system won't let me book what we need for the Portland trip. Here's what I'm seeing. How would you like me to handle this? This does 2 things. It shows you tried to follow the proper process, and it makes the booking decision your manager's responsibility, not yours. Now, what if your company doesn't have a corporate travel system? What if they tell you to book everything yourself? This is actually more dangerous territory because now all the policy compliance falls on you. First question, are there preferred vendors I should use? Most companies have negotiated rates with specific hotel chains and airlines, even if they don't have a formal travel portal. Second question, are there any restrictions on booking sites? Some companies prohibit third-party sites like Priceline or Hotwire because of receipt and change policy issues. And third question, what's the approval process? Do you need pre-approval for costs over a certain amount? Do you need me to get flights approved separately from hotels? Here's a template you can use. Hello, my manager. I'm ready to book travel for the Portland client meeting. Before I start, could you help me with a few quick questions? Are there preferred hotel chains or airlines I should use? Do we have any corporate discount codes? What's our process for expense pre-approval? And should I use my personal card or request a company card? I want to make sure I handle this correctly. Thanks. Professional, thorough, and it shows you're thinking about the company's interests, not just finding the cheapest price. Let's talk about hotels specifically because this is where I see the most expensive mistakes. Your instinct might be to find the cheapest place that looks decent. Resist this instinct. Most companies have negotiated rates with major chains. Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, IHG. These rates are often better than anything you'll find online. Plus, they come with benefits like free cancellation, free Wi-Fi, and guaranteed rooms, even when they're sold out. But here's the key. You usually can't see these rates on public booking sites. You have to book directly with the hotel and give them your company's corporate ID number. I watched someone book a Courtyard Marriott through Expedia for $180 a night. The corporate rate for the same room was $95. The employee looked like they didn't know what they were doing. Always ask, do we have corporate rates with any hotel chains? Then book directly with those chains. Location matters too, but not the way you think. You might assume you should book the cheapest hotel even if it's farther from your meeting location. Wrong. Companies would rather pay an extra $30 a night for a hotel that's walking distance from your meeting than have you expense $40 a day in Uber rides plus the time inefficiency. Think about the total cost of ownership, not just the room rate. Now let's talk about flights. This is where the rules get really specific and the mistakes can be really expensive. First, timing. Most companies require you to book flights at least 2 weeks in advance unless it's truly an emergency. Last-minute bookings trigger automatic scrutiny. Second, class of service. Unless you're told otherwise, assume economy. I don't care if the business class upgrade is only $200 more. Don't do it without explicit approval. I know someone who booked a business class on a 3-hour domestic flight because I need to work during the flight and economy seats are just too cramped. His manager's response, if you can't work productively in an economy seat for 3 hours, maybe you're not ready for this level of responsibility. Harsh? Yes. Unfair? Maybe. Reality? Yep. Here's how to think about flight upgrades. Economy Plus or Premium Economy, sometimes it's okay for flights over 4 hours, but ask first. Business Class Domestic, it's almost never okay without specific approval. Business Class International, it depends on the company and your level, but definitely ask first. And First Class, don't even think about it unless you're a C-level executive. The key is asking, not assuming. The flight to Tokyo is 14 hours. Is an upgrade to business class something we'd consider, or should I book economy? This shows you're thinking about the company's money while also being realistic about the travel requirements. Let's talk about travel insurance because this trips up a lot of people. Most booking sites will try to sell you travel insurance or trip insurance for $20 or $30. Should you buy it? Usually not. Most corporate credit cards already include travel insurance. Most companies are self-insured for business travel charges, and most business travel is refundable or changeable anyway. But, and this is important, some companies do require travel insurance for international trips or high-value bookings. Ask first, do we need travel insurance for this trip? Don't just assume either way. What about special circumstances? What if you need to extend a trip for personal reasons? What if you want to bring your spouse? What if the conference is in Las Vegas and you want to stay for the weekend? Here's the rule. Full transparency up front. Hi, my manager. I'd like to extend my Vegas trip through the weekend for personal time. I'll cover the extra hotel nights and any additional costs. Should I book this as one reservation and itemize the personal portion, or should I handle it separately? This shows you understand the boundary between business and personal expenses, and you're proactively addressing it. Compare that to someone who just books the extended stay and figures they'll sort it out on the expense report. One approach builds trust, the other destroys it. International travel has its own complications: passport and visa costs, foreign transaction fees, currency conversion, international phone plans. Some of these are reimbursable, some aren't, and it varies by company. The key is asking about company policy before you incur any charges. I'll need to get my passport renewed for the London trip. Is that reimbursable or should I handle it personally? Finally, let's talk about payment methods because this is where a lot of people get confused. Some companies want you to use your personal card and get reimbursed. Others issue corporate cards. Some use both for different types of expenses. Using the wrong payment method can create problems for both you and the company. If you use your personal card when you should use the corporate card, it can mess up their accounting. If you use the corporate card for personal expenses, even accidentally, it can trigger compliance issues. Always clarify, should I use my personal card for this trip, or do you have a corporate card that I should use? Let me give you a booking checklist you can use for every trip. 1. Is there a corporate travel portal I should use? 2. What are our preferred vendors and discount codes? 3. Are there any restrictions on booking sites or methods? 4. What requires pre-approval? 5. Which payment method should I use? 6. Do we need travel insurance? And 7. Any special requirements for this destination? Print this out, keep it at your desk, use it every single time until these questions become automatic. Now, let me end with a success story. Jessica was a new business analyst at a financial services firm. Her first business trip was to Chicago for a client meeting. Before booking anything, she sent her manager a 1-paragraph email asking about the travel process. Her manager was so impressed that someone proactively asked about the policy compliance that he scheduled a 15-minute call to walk her through the entire corporate travel system. During that call, Jessica learned not just about booking procedures, but about the client she was visiting, the context of the meeting, and her manager's expectations for the trip. Later, when a senior analyst position opened up, Jessica's manager recommended her specifically because she always demonstrated excellent judgment and attention to detail. Here's what we've covered in this module. First, never assume. Always ask about booking procedures before you start. Second, corporate travel portals are your friend, even when they're frustrating. Third, think about total cost of ownership, not just the lowest price. Fourth, transparency builds trust, especially for personal extensions or special circumstances. Fifth, payment method matters more than you think. And sixth, the 5 minutes you spend asking questions upfront can save your career. Now, in Module 5, we're going to talk about hotels specifically, all the hidden traps and expensive mistakes that happen once you're actually on your trip. Because booking the right hotel is only half the battle, now you have to navigate it professionally. I'll see you in Module 3.